Welcome everybody to this edition of News Search Live. This week, a couple things I want to get into here. I first off, thank you very much to everybody who has watched or listened or even downloaded the James Ellsworth interview that we did. Thank you very much to Mr. James Ellsworth, aka Pretty Jimmy Dream, which I pretty much think it's James Ellsworth at this point. Everything is switched over on social media to James Ellsworth. Um, I want to thank you guys for listening and watching that. Thank you to him for being on the show. Thank you to him for sharing that interview. Um, this week, I kind of want to talk a little bit about Raw and SmackDown. I'm not going to go in depth with them. Um, Raw kind of faded back into its old normal self this week. You had the return of the opening 20-minute promo. Granted, it wasn't Stephanie or Vince or Triple H in the ring for 20 minutes yakking on. Um, but, as you can hear my headset beeping, um, but it was, it was still a 20-minute opening promo. It could have taken all of 5 minutes to set up that match between Enzo and um, Sasha versus Charlotte and Chris Jericho. Took maybe 5-10 minutes to set that up. Then you have more time for wrestling on the show. Granted, these guys have already been working for 2 or 3 days prior to Raw even happening, but, you know, we like wrestling. It is a pro wrestling show. They've actually started to weave the word wrestling back into the synergy of the product in the recent years. And they're not really taking advantage of that by giving us wrestling. Um, I like the promo work from all four of those people. I thought it was really good back and forth, especially with Enzo. Enzo was just gold. Um, However, I do think that it did not need to go that long. Um, the whole aspect of Finn Balor, guys, this guy, his biggest weakness in NXT was promos, and his biggest weakness is the fact that he's not a talker. I mean, and not everybody is a talker in this business. Chris Benoit, yes, I know in the end it turned out that he was a horrible human being, but if you take that out of the equation or try to take that out of the equation, the guy really was the same as far as level of promos goes, but he got it done in the ring and people respected that and people liked it. Um, I think that as time goes on, we're going to hear less talking from Finn. We need to hear. Nobody has ever mentioned the Demon character either. They mentioned the Demon a couple of times when he got drafted, but they need to start doing this whole thing of, you know what, you've awakened. Seth Rollins, you've awakened that person inside of me that you do not want to see. And at SummerSlam, he's going to make an appearance. And be careful what you wish for. You never know what's going to happen when the demon awakens. Stuff like that. They need to play more into that demon character. I was shocked that we're still seeing Balor Club all over the Titantron and everything when... Sorry, it's late at night when I'm recording this here. We're still seeing the Balor Club logo when... We have heard that the WWE has dropped the rights for that trademark because of Baylor University wanting it or something like that. So that's that is the whole tidbit there on Raw this week. Pretty good show overall. Good wrestling. We're getting good wrestling again. I mean, when they do give it to us, the wrestling is good. SmackDown. There's a couple things I have about SmackDown here that really... The number one thing on SmackDown that got to me was John Cena's promo. I can't stand it when he looks at AJ and goes, "You'll pack your bags up and go somewhere else. And this is the only place I want to be." I want so badly for AJ to really lash into this motherfucker. I mean, I want, if I was AJ, I'd be quick to grab the mic and go, you know what? The reason why I can go everywhere else is because I can make it everywhere else. Maybe you can't make it anywhere else. Now, granted, if you say that, it makes WWE seem like second fiddle, kind of. Because, if you can make it in WWE, you should be able to make it anywhere else. Um, but at the same time, it really lowers down the industry. It really makes the rest of the industry look terrible. And the rest of the industry is where half your talent comes from. Over half your talent. About 75% of your talent these days comes from the indie scene. And it's coming from Japan. And for, maybe they need to have him go, you know what, you've never been anywhere else. I had to bust my ass off to get here. You maybe wrestled what? A couple matches and you got handed your spot. Which is pretty much true. He wrestled in OVW for maybe, a year, and then he was up on TV? I tell you, man, I hate how people sit there and praise John Cena so much on his make-a-wishes and his shit that he does outside the ring. I could care less how many sick kids that son of a gun visits. I really could. I don't watch WWE to see John Cena patting 6 kids on the head going, I hope you feel better, champ. I pay to watch John Cena get in there and wrestle. I'm kind of glad that he's not going to be on the Backlash pay-per-view. Because I don't want to see him. I'm so glad that maybe he's not going to be there. Let him stay over in Japan. Keep his ass over there, man, because I'm sorry. When you make snide comments like, you'll go back off and somewhere else, you'll pack your bags and leave. I'm not like Dwayne. I'll go and do the Teen Choice Awards, and I'll go do the Today Show, and I'll go and do this, but I'm right back here. You gotta wonder how long that's gonna last, because this guy, he may never achieve the level of The Rock, but the fact of the matter is, John Cena is getting up there in age. The body is breaking down. It's time for him to start winding down. I give it about 3 or 4 more years, and that's it. And to fans who are looking at me go, you're just a John Cena hater. AJ Styles got to the WWE late in life, guys. He's in his early 40s. Maybe late 30s, early 40s. I don't know exactly how old he is, but still. He doesn't have much time left to collect a paycheck. John Cena, has to realize... And the thing people are going to tell me, well, Joe, it's just a promo. No, the sad part is, I get the impression that's how John Cena feels in real life. People holding up their kid dressed up as John Cena and him looking at him going, that's the reason why I come back and do this. That's the reason why I come back and do this. Dude. Okay, it's okay to, be there for the kids and everything like that. But when you got guys sitting behind that kid that are booing your ass and have been for the last probably 8 years, it's time to move on. I'm just so sick of talking about it, really. I'm so sick of hearing, from fans, well, you gotta respect what John Cena does for the Make-A-Wishes. No, you don't. No, you don't. For every one kid that there is to save, there's another 30 more adults and kids that are there to see you wrestle. They're not there to see you talk. They're there to hear about the Make-A-Wish crap and the Today Show crap. Nobody cares. And then when you do decide, you bust AJ Styles' balls in a promo and bust every other indie. It really does hate on the rest of the indie crew. Oh, this is the place to be. I've always been here. It makes it seem like if you go anywhere else on the indies to try to make a name for yourself, that it's shaming. It's just throwing shame and throwing shade, as the kids say today, on this industry. I would love to see John Cena wrestle for a PWX and just to see if he can hang with some of the guys down there, or go up to Ring of Honor just to see if he doesn't get booed out the building there. I would love to see John Cena wrestle for New Japan Pro Wrestling. Because the fact of the matter is, they're not booing you because of your character and because of your choosing to be pushed. They would boo the fuck out of you because you cannot wrestle. You can't work worth a damn. And when you do try to throw one or two moves into the arsenal, like that stupid ass springboard stunner, which didn't work, to the point where he had to stop using it. Anyway, that's my rant here about John Cena and about, that whole thing on SmackDown. Otherwise, SmackDown, good show this week. I enjoyed SmackDown this week. The Eva Marie thing, yeah, she's feigning an injury. It's a work. It looked real. I'll admit it. I was like, did she really just injure herself? Did she really just... Because she sold it great. I'll give Eva Marie credit. For those who shit on her, she's a beautiful, drop-dead, gorgeous woman. And I'll tell you right now, she sold the injury and had me thinking it was real there for a minute. Well done. Well done, Eva Marie. You got a shit ton of heat, and you're going to milk it for every dime that it's goddamn worth. That, my friends, is a sign of a true worker. Somebody who takes it and flips it around and goes, you know what? You're going to boo me. I'm going to give you every fucking reason in the world to boo me. They don't come out there like a Roman Reigns or a John Cena. I don't care what you think. The fact of the matter is you should care. Because we're the ones buying the tickets. We're the ones paying for your fucking salary, dude. And everybody's sitting there going, that's the only thing about CM Punk that I disagree with. When he did that podcast with Colt Cabana a couple years ago, when people are sitting there going, we bought your house. Yeah, we kind of did. Yeah, you got in the ring and busted your ass, and we applaud you for it, and we thank you. But we're really the ones buying the tickets. Without us, you're nothing, dude. Sorry. People are going to sit there and go, stupid Mark. Stupid Mark, yeah. Get in the ring, you don't know nothing. But I'm sorry, it's just the way I feel at it, We have the right, everybody sits there and goes, you don't have the right to criticize because you're not a worker. Well, 90% of film critics, they criticize movies, and they've probably never been in front of a camera a day in their life. It really, really bugs me when people sit there and go, we don't have a title, we're not entitled to an opinion. Yes, we are. Anyway, we're going to come right back here. And we're going to talk about a couple more things, including Suicide Squad. We'll be right back. All right. Thank you for sticking around with us there. I just think that, going back to the whole John Cena thing, it's a double-edged sword with me, really. My kid loves John Cena. And it does mean nothing, nothing makes me happier than seeing a smile on his face when John Cena comes out. But it bugs me to no end when they cut promos that bash the rest of the fucking industry. It just really does, man. We interviewed James Ellsworth last week, and it's like saying, okay, James Ellsworth is a promoter and a wrestler on the indies. Are what these people doing don't matter? Is what Daniel Bryan did before he got to WWE, does that not matter? I thought we were past that point, WWE. Now I know, granted, in WWE's world, nothing else matters but them, and that should be the case when you're the top dog. But man, you don't see Ford going out there and going, Chevy doesn't matter, this doesn't matter, this doesn't matter. Well, maybe they do, but still, it just you don't see the Dallas Cowboys going out there going, what everybody else in this league does doesn't matter, because the fact of the matter is, without those other teams, you don't have anybody else to play against. You don't have, you bought up your competition. And WWE's competition right now, guys, is the indie scene. So, I mean, it's like saying nobody else out there in the NFL matters because we're the top dog and we're the most popular team in the NFL. I don't know if that's true. I could care less about football. I'm just using it as an example. It just doesn't make much sense. I know in a perfect WWE world, they want to take people off the street, train them to be wrestlers, kind of like the Army does. We take you off the street, we train you to be a grunt. As my headset beeps again, let me plug this thing in here. Bear with me 1 second, guys. Alright. Thank you. Sorry about that. But, I mean, it's just, the rest of the industry does matter. Anyway, I know I'm probably going to get a ton of hate and, stupid Mark, you don't know what you're talking about in the comments, but it just really, I don't know, something about that promo that Cena cut struck a nerve, and maybe that's what it was designed to do, but golly. Suicide Squad is coming out this week, and the reviews for the DCU Cinematic Universe's third chance at this movie, or third installment, if you will, have not been good. There's a petition around going from somebody in Canada, I think, started this, wanting to pretty much say that the website Rotten Tomatoes should cease to exist due to the hate that DC has been getting from all the reviewers over there. Let me clarify something for you idiots that are actually paying attention to this and wanting to sign this thing. Rotten Tomatoes is not the bad guy here. Rotten Tomatoes invites critics to come on and say, hey, post a review using our scale system. They then take those reviews and compile them and give them a percentage. Rotten Tomatoes is not reviewing the movie themselves. If anything, you people filing and signing this foolish petition should be going after the individual critics, not the website that compiles them. You are idiots. I'm going to go see this movie probably Saturday night. Looking forward to it. I'm curious to see how the whole dynamic of Harley Quinn and Joker is. I've been told that's the best part of the movie. I've also been told that Will Smith does not shadow everything in Big Willie style the whole thing, which is good news, good to hear. But I also have heard that this, I think somebody described it as taking a 1,000-piece puzzle and scrambling all the pieces around all over the table. When will, man, I don't know why it's like this, but when will DC and Warner Brothers get their act together, man? crazy. Absolutely nuts. I heard Ben Affleck does make an appearance in the movie, which is awesome. I've heard that the girl who plays Amanda Waller is very, very good, very well done. I personally like the chick who plays her in Arrow. I thought the Amanda Waller character in Arrow was really, really good. So yeah, Suicide Squad coming out. I'm really, golly, I said that's Southern. The Suicide Squad movie's coming out, y'all. Jeez. I wish I could shake this Southern accent, I swear. But yeah, that's where I stand with that. I think that, I'm going to give this movie a bigger chance than I gave Batman v Superman. I really am. Despite what all these critics are saying. I think I'm going to give it a fair shake, as they say. As far as what else I'm looking forward to, I'm looking forward to The Walking Dead. Yes, I did get into The Walking Dead this past spring after swearing that I would never, ever watch that movie. Or watch that show, rather. Sorry. Might as well be a big-ass movie, but anyway. I'm liking the direction of the series. It's going to get a little bit Game of Thrones-ish because you're going to have these different communities popping up. Speaking of that show, Game of Thrones, man, me and my girlfriend just started picking it up and watching it. We're in the middle of season 2. And then I read that they're only going 7 seasons. It's probably for the best. Go out on top. I think that they should go out when they're on top. I heard that the 6th season is going to only run about 10 episodes, or 6 episodes as opposed to 10. Filming constraints, I heard, because winter is coming in the show. And the fact of the matter is, once winter does get here in the show, that limits the amount of time you have to film. And HBO is not going to be able to make as much money if they have to wait longer in between seasons, and the fan interest is going to die out. So I think that's another reason why they're having to end it. Let's see, what else here can we get into today, this week? Everybody's asking me who I'm voting for. Neither one. If you're smart, you'll either vote Libertarian, which are independent, or you'll write in a candidate. If we don't vote for either one of these guys, I don't get political on my show. I don't really get politics, but I'll just say this. If you don't like neither one of them, don't vote for either one of them. Because if you don't get any votes from either one of them, we can't elect either one of these idiots, and they have to toss both of them out and do this shit all over again or something. Oh, this is cool. Weird Al Yankovic says Prince turned down at least 4 parody ideas, but Michael Jackson was very supportive. Tell us something we don't know. I will say that this is an interesting article here. This is from Billboard. I'll read this to you. It says, I had this fantasy that he'd come out with a new song. I'd have a great idea. He said yes, and it would erase decades of weirdness between us. But that's obviously not going to be the case. In an interview with People, Weird Al Yankovic revealed that despite the long list of artists, including Lady Gaga, Michael Jackson, and Kurt Cobain, who supported his parodies, one icon refused to take part, and that was Prince. Yes, Prince is the guy who would never give Weird Al a yes. Paul McCartney gave him a yes. Weird Al wanted to take the song Live and Let Die and turn it into chicken pot pie. McCartney said no, so I believe Weird Al picked a different song. But anyway, it's too bad, Yankovic said of the late Purple Rain artist. I hadn't approached him in about 20 years because he always said no, but I'd had this fantasy he'd come out with a new song and say yes. The parody artist had prepared ideas for Prince's song Let's Go Crazy, 1999, When Doves Cry, and Kiss. I had a parody of Let's Go Crazy that was about the Beverly Hillbillies, and I wanted to do something funny with When Doves Cry and Kiss for 1999. I wanted to do an infomercial where you could get anything you wanted to by dialing 1-800 something 99. That's crazy. Prince may not have been a fan of Yankovic, but the artist revealed that Michael Jackson loved his ideas. Michael Jackson wasn't just cool about my parody of Beat It, but he also loved my version of Bad, which was Fat. He even let me use the actual Bad subway set for the filming of the Fat video. He was very supportive and huge, opening the doors to other artists, because if Michael Jackson signed on, you couldn't really say no. I saw Weird Al last, I want to say it was last year, last spring, when he first was doing the mandatory tour. And the guy's a freaking musical genius, man. For a guy to sit there and on stage do that many styles of music, fuck, I'll go ahead and say it. Let's see Kanye West. Let's see his ass pull out an accordion on stage and start rapping. That ain't happening. Oh, God. Less than a year after learning that Netflix will be raising their monthly subscription rates, we have additional super sad news for Netflix residents in one particular state. Citizens of Pennsylvania. The state's existing 6% sales tax will now be extended to digital downloads and subscription services like Netflix and Hulu. This includes music, ebooks, apps, online games, and ringtones. There will be some exceptions, though, such as magazine and newspaper subscriptions, along with digital versions of the Bible and certain textbooks. The Netflix taxes sum is costing is going to help to offset $1.3 billion hole in the state's budget. The tax could bring in an additional $47 million for Pennsylvania. Jesus Christ. This isn't the first tax of its kind. The city of Chicago proposed extending its 9% amusement tax to Netflix and other digital subscriptions. Though Pennsylvania's tax isn't as much as the Chicago tax, people are still freaking out. What happens if, in the not-so-distant future, all 50 states must pay the price to enjoy 2 or 3 hours of Netflix? That's a good article. That's a crazy, freaking entertainment tax? Hell, I can't stand going out to eat most days because of the fact that it's getting hard to go out to eat. The city near me, the city in which I live in, Danville, they have an eating out tax where if you go to restaurants, it's like an additional 3% or something like that. It's nuts. Don't they freaking make enough money? Don't they take enough out of our paychecks? Ugh. Anyway. I think that, when getting back to the Suicide Squad thing, I really think we need to wait and see on that before critics. Honestly, I think there should be an embargo against this crap, because I think that the critics were part of the reason why Batman vs Superman did so poorly, as far as the people's. It really swayed people's opinion. I think that these movie critics getting an advanced copy of the movie and then putting their reviews out 3 or 4 days before the movie really does have a taint on it, man. In the age of social media that we live in, where it's not like you had to go read a newspaper for a movie review or watch Siskel and Ebert. It's instant now, man. The second these critics are getting out of the theaters, they're on their fucking phones or on tablets tweeting this shit. And it takes some of the fun out of it, to be honest with you, but anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up, man. It was a good week for wrestling, I think, except for the whole John Cena thing and that 20-minute promo. It's a good week for wrestling. It continues to keep it up. We're going to see how it does with the Olympics. It's crazy because the wrestling is coming on the WWE is coming on one of the Olympics channels, USA Network, which is NBC Universal, who has the rights to the Olympics. So it's going to be curious. Are people interested in the Olympics this year? Do you really care? I've never really cared about them. what is it, every 8 years we have people fucking swimming and gymnastics. You don't see those sports on ESPN for the other 3 years in between. If you do, it's very rare on a weekend between bowling and pool. Synchronized swimming. Who the hell ever watches that? I've often wondered, why is the Olympics any different? You don't care about these sports 90% of the time, but it's the Olympics, so we have to watch it. It makes no sense to me. Well, Joe, it's been going back to ancient Greece. Yeah, I get it, but oh man. Anyway, I'm done ranting for today, guys. I've gone on for about 31 minutes here. I want to thank you all for watching and listening. Next week, who knows what we're going to talk about here. But I want to thank you guys so much for watching and listening. You can follow me on Twitter at Wrestling Truck. And of course on Facebook.com/NewSurgeLive. We'll see you down the road.